It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And this one will feature Kendall Fuller, who's now up to a ridiculous 14 interceptions so far this season. It's the Commanders and the Browns, and it's coming right up on EA Sports.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Today, it's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we've got a good one in store between the Cleveland Browns and the Washington Commanders. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about this Commanders team coming into play here today. The streak continues, doesn't it? They come in a perfect 10-0.
And it's not just that they're winning, it's how they're winning. All phases of the game coming together for this team.
Meanwhile, for the Browns here, they're in a real groove of late. Winners of 5 of their last 6 games. The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This taken in at the goal line. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And they're going to have good starting field position. He's out of bounds, but not before he's across the 35. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. Orchestrating the offense will be a man who, of course, won a national title back in his days at Clemson, Deshaun Watson.
And he's exactly the man you want in control of your offense. Excellent arm, good zip on the ball, not afraid to use his legs when he needs to. And when he's excelled at doing is making plays. When the pressure...
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb, and he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. A check on the numbers for Chubb from a week ago. 16 carries, 83 yards, and a touchdown.
And when you put the ball in the end zone 13 times on the season, one thing is apparent. You didn't do it all on your own. Offensive line is creating some nice space for you, and you're probably getting some good blocks downfield from your wide receivers.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. To throw is Watson. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. And he's going to get this down near the 25. They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. On first down, Watson. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. And, of course, that's not an easy man to sack. You know how elusive he can be trying to get outside of the pocket. That was a great play on the defensive side.
And I wonder what was going through his mind, because he didn't seem as committed to using his legs to pick up yardage. He wanted to keep that play alive, so either take off and go or throw it away. But he held on to the football and ended up getting sacked.
So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14. Here's Watson. Over the middle, it's complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. That puts them in excellent position, 1st and goal after a gain of 19.
A lot of precision being shown on this opening drive. They've been methodical, they've been crisp, and as a reward, they're going to be set up with an early 1st and goal.
First and goal, a chance for an early statement here on the road. Out of the gun, Watson. And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. It'll go as a loss of 8 and a tough result there on 1st and goal. Charles, a little bit of feast or famine on this drive. They moved the ball okay, but they've been sacked twice now.
And they've got to figure out how to plug that leak a little bit, right? Keep them away from the quarterback because when he's not being hit, as you mentioned, they're moving the ball well.
First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. And Chubb will try the middle, and it's a fumble. And it's Washington that scoops it up.
Let's face it, everybody at the start of a game has a mental image of how they expect it to go, and I think that was going exactly as they scripted it offensively. Moving the ball well, seemingly in control, and that fumble, that's got to be a little bit deflating, don't you think?
Yeah, foiled the whole plan there, turned the ball over. So out comes the Washington offense as they get their first shot. They'll be led out by the former number 3 overall pick back in 2021. It's Trey Lance.
And if you go by the numbers, he's had a Pro Bowl type season. And maybe that's even selling him a little bit short. He's the NFL leader in touchdown passes to this point in the year. And with the end of the season not too far away, he's got his guys playing at a very high level.
Now a first carry here for Robinson. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. A check-in on the numbers last week for Robinson. The hat trick +1, 4 trips to the end zone with his legs.
And, partner, you know how all the guys do when they do that little symbol now about eating, right? Keep feeding me, feeding me. They just kept feeding him, and next thing you know, he kept getting in the end zone.
Meanwhile, Lance's throw into the hands here of Hardman. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first. And Charles, with that completion, I'm told that puts him now over 3,000 yards passing on the campaign.
And Brandon, I think we have to start to think about where we are in the season, because right now, 4,000 is not out of the question. I think a big game or two, he's certainly capable of getting that done.
Hand off now to Robinson. And some room to roam now. And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
How about his performance last week? Over 200 yards. I think his decisiveness, one cut and he goes, that's what's really made him pile up the yardage.
And the yardage he piled up last week, easily honored with NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
I would have voted for him.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 42-yard line. Back to Robinson now on 1st down. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll follow his blockers there all the way down to the 23-yard line. 40 yards rushing so far. This is just their first possession. They've got a new set of downs here. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
Here's Robinson. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Brian Robinson Jr. with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And the Commanders use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. Well, we've said it many times. He is always a threat to go the distance anytime he's got the ball in his hands. And on this occasion, he did just that.
Well, he's definitely the guy that makes this offense go. And when you're an RB1, running back one, you've got to be willing to be patient at times as well. Not every run's going to be the home run we saw there. But once you get that opportunity and that opening, you take full advantage.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. They had the fumble on the last drive, wound up leading to the opening touchdown. Now they'll try again here, 1st and 10. They begin this drive with Chubb. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Jamin Davis there to bring him down. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. And again, it's Chubb. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. A shotgun snap for Watson. And this is going to be incomplete. On 4th down on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. 46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Set to go again. Here's Brian Robinson, the Commander offense. And you see his numbers from a week ago. He was up over 100 yards then, and he's already hit pay dirt here once in this one.
We always talk about quarterbacks and receivers getting into rhythm, right? Really feeling good, finding each other downfield. I think running backs operate the same way. They can hit a good rhythm and a good stride, and he's carrying it over from last week.
From the 27, Lance. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go. That catch now puts him on the doorstep of 500. It's his 499th reception. And it looks like a nickel set now for the Browns on 3rd down. Lance looking to throw it. And Ingram holds it in. And they're going to get this up to midfield. And he has now hit number 500. Charles, that is his 500th NFL career catch.
Definitely worthy of applause, but I remember when 500 meant you were going to the Hall of Fame. Nowadays, in today's football, 500 puts you on the path, a significant number.
Robinson up the middle. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 81 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. On that last run, he's now hit the 6,000-yard mark for rushing yards in his career.
And moves him squarely into the top 100 rushers of all time. In fact, he can boast that he's rushed for over 1,000 yards more than Gale Sayers did in his career, and Gale Sayers was a Hall of Famer in a short career.
Running game working, they'll stick with it on 1st down. And some room to work. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 16 yards, a little deja vu from the previous play where they got 16. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating him up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
Yeah, he did not want to go down there as he carries tacklers for a solid gain of 9.
It's a gain of 9. Brings up 2nd and a yard.
2nd down and a run by Robinson. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line.
A gain of 4 yards. Tackle made at the 5-yard line. First and goal at the 5-yard line.
They'll run with Robinson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Well, I know defensive coordinator is going to be pretty excited about what he just saw there. Great knockback by their front. And now with the ball where it is, I would expect to see the offense throw the ball on second and third down here.
Now from the 7, here's second and goal. Here's Lance to throw it. Touchdown, Washington. Evan Ingram, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Commanders are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they've played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
The extra point splits the uprights, and that'll make the score 14-0. So a nice drive put together there. They go 75 yards in 9 plays. And Evan Ingram able to finish it off with a touchdown reception. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. Cleveland offense making their way out. They find themselves in a good-size hole here, and a good-size hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. Now it's Watson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. Throwing again on second and 10. Watson, he's got Njoku, his big tight end. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Back to throw, Watson. Going to throw right side here, complete. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
Watson looks to throw again. And he will find his man on the outside.
Watson's pass complete to number 83. It's a gain of 8.
Now Chubb running right. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a third down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Watson now to throw. This complete to David Bell. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 43. And they get 10 yards there and convert on third.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. They give the Chubb out of the gun. Oh, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The start of the second quarter, and it's the Browns in control of the football as they've got it with a 2nd and 10. Here's Watson. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. More than one defender there, and that's a loss of 5 on the sack.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? He'll look to throw. And he's going to go down again. Montez Sweat providing a little deja vu. Back-to-back sacks, and now they're staring at a 4th and long.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on. How about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
On 4th down on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on the return. And the Commanders will take over with a 1st and 10. Brian Robinson Jr. making his way back onto the field. He's in his own 2nd quarter, already closing in on a 100-yard game.
And that's the magic number for a running back. Anytime you get to that triple digits, that's all you're looking for. But he's got a chance to really exceed that in this one.
Yeah, he does. That's been the gold standard for a long time, hasn't it, that 100-yard mark?
It really has, and that never has to shift because it's in a game. It's a 1,000-yard mark. I'm wondering, since we've gone from 12 to 14 to 16 games, maybe we need to up that a little. But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field, and here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Straight ahead, it's Rob. And he lost the football. And this is picked up by the Browns. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. He has been a workhorse for them in this game, and ball security hasn't been an issue until that point.
Yeah, and let's face it, when he's going to carry the ball that many times, he becomes more and more of a target for the defense, knowing that he's going to be the primary guy. They'll just send more and more players towards him, trying to make sure they knock the ball free.
A give running right is Chubb. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on their early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Now Watson. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And he gets it to his running back, Nick Chubb. And he's not going to get the first down. He had to get to the 30, but he's a yard or 2 short. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down.
Well, don't tell any defensive coordinator I played for, but that might be considered a win for both teams because defensively they stopped them short and forced the 4th down. But offensively, they picked up enough yards to give their kicker a better shot if that's what they want to do.
Already down 2 scores. They're going to go for this rather than settle for 3. They will indeed snap it to Watson. He's going to have his running back. It's complete. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. A gutsy call. Turns out to be a good one, though. First down on a pickup of 11. That was a pretty good job by the defense, I thought, right? I mean, they had to go to their check down, but still were able to get it done for the first.
Agreed. Anytime you can force them to come back to a receiver that's a little bit shorter in the route, you've done your job on defense, but still, they pick up the first down and get a fresh set.
Huge fourth down conversion. And this will be broken up and incomplete. Now a penalty flag down, and they may be going backward here. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Watson. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Watson, his throw incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. He's got the connection to Cooper. And he is going to be stopped at the 12, short of the first down. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves him just short for 4th down.
And that big gain may just change the thought process here on 4th down. I think in the red zone, they might now consider going for it on 4th down.
Watson will step away, and out comes Cade York to handle this 4th down field goal try for the Browns. York able to send this one through, and they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So the defense are able to force their first turnover of the game, and then they add on to that by getting the field goal.
And you don't just want to take the ball away from your opponent, partner. You want to make them hurt as well. And if you don't score yourself on defense, turn it over to your offense and have them put points on the board.
And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Set to go again. Here's Brian Robinson, the Commander offense. He's had it working pretty well here in this first half up until that last drive when he put it on the turf, Charles.
So I don't think they want to overreact to that fumble, because now you've got a guy that's played so well. You don't want to take him and limit his effectiveness by worrying about it too much. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if we saw him next week at meetings. He'd have a football with him at all times.
Again, it's Robinson. A very tough run, but for a pretty short gain out near the 32. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Lance going to try and throw on 3rd down here. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there. That brings up 4th. And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. 39 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize, like going to the county fair. You don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. Second down, here's Chubb again. And he is going to lose yardage here. He went backwards there 8 yards, and it brings up 3rd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority, because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
The Browns on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. Operating from the gun, Watson. Oh, the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down. No surprise there. Chase Young wrecks that play with a sack. Well, the number one mission of any offensive line, you got to protect that quarterback, keep him safe back there. This time, the rush got to him in a hurry.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
Yeah, the next-gen stat's going to illustrate just how quickly a quarterback has to process everything, as he was on the ground in under 3 seconds, 2.9 to be precise. A good starting spot for Washington as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 43. They begin the drive with Robinson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this...
Behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard. Brings up
on 2nd and 11 now. Lance. And incomplete on the deep ball. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Lance. Completes it to Hardman. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
But things are definitely going right for them here in the first half. Pick a down, any down, even 3rd down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Working from the gun, Lance. This pass hauled in by Dotson. And he gets us down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. His first catch, good for 9 and a first down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. On the give, here's Robinson. And able to get this to the 31. From the 31, Lance. This is caught by Williams. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. On 1st and 10, it's Gibson. And he's got 4 down inside the 20 to the 18. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. To throw, it's Lance. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot drag.
And now hold everything here as the challenge flag is out, and we're going to get a review of that last play. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call. Throwing his Lance on 3rd down. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. So on 4th down, Ron Rivera sends out the field goal unit. This just a 35-yard attempt from the left hash. And this one is right through. And they will stretch the lead now to 17-3. So a nice kick there as they are able to add on to their lead.
And that's exactly what you're looking to do. Maneuver yourself into range. That way, if your drive stalls out, you're able to get something out of it. And they do so right there.
And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Here comes the Browns offense back onto the field. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. Going out wide, finds Chubb. Finding space at the 40. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. This drive starting off on the right foot. 18 yards.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they're having panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. To throw is Watson. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. They go up the middle with Chubb. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. From the gun on 3rd, Watson. Going right side here, and that's complete. And they're going to have another 1st down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 36. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang at Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ballgame. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Here's Corey Bojorquez now. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And still plenty of time remaining here in the half, more than a minute. And we'll see if they just want to protect that lead or try to add on to it.
Well, with as much time as is left on the clock, I would imagine it would be the latter. I think they're going to try and add on to it. So what they're going to tell the team is very simply, if you can get out of bounds after making a play downfield, terrific. If you can't, everyone hustle to the line of scrimmage, either run another play or clock it and start over again.
Now following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12. Lance looking to throw it. And he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the 1st down marker. Now Washington going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the 1st half. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Here's Lance. He's got this complete to Williams. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. Give them 22 there on the 3rd down conversion.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. And it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice 1st down. Drive keeps moving.
On 1st and 10, here's Lance. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. And this will be spotted on the other side of the field. It's a 61-yard attempt. So that would have been something from that distance, but to no avail. Comes up empty as we have reached the intermission. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things starting to get interesting in this final weekend before Thanksgiving. So let's see what's going on around the NFL. We'll start over in Texas at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. And as you see, they were winners back on Thursday night. Dak Prescott, 4 touchdown passes in the victory. Next, we head up to the Windy City. Check on the Bears at home, Soldier Field. And they trail the visiting Falcons in that one at halftime. Daniel Jones, 3 first-half touchdown passes. Lastly, let's get you to MetLife Stadium to see what's happening with the Giants at home in East Rutherford. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Minnesota Vikings. Lamar Jackson, a strong performance there, over 300 yards passing with 3 touchdowns in the victory. On now to a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for the Browns. And they didn't get a whole lot accomplished through the air in those first 2 quarters of play. They'll need to up their game if they want to rally all the way back. Meanwhile, for Washington, we check out their numbers on the ground as they'll try to keep the momentum going into the second half.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he won't quite make it to the 25. So here is Washington now to take over. They've got the lead yet again in this ball game with their winning streak right now sitting at 10. Second half begins with a run by Robinson. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Throwing now is Lance. He's got this to Williams, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. 27 yards there, a first down.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode. Really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
They'll run here with Robinson. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 128 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Robinson with another carry. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. 38-yard line, 2nd and 9.
A gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 9.
And Lance now to throw. Finds his tight end Ingram. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
Complete to Evan Ingram. That's a gain of 6. Brings up 3rd and
Robinson will try to pick it up. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot has been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. Throwing on first down is Lance. Throw right side complete to Dotson. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20.
Complete to Jahan Dotson. Out of bounds at the 17-yard line. 8 yards.
Hand off to Robinson out of the shotgun. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Back to Robinson now on first down. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. In on the tackle is the lineman, Perrion Winfrey.
Second and 10 at the 12-yard line.
From the gun, it's Lance. Throw right side, complete to Williams. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Lance to throw on 3rd and 1. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Intended for Jamison Williams. Incomplete. He was covered by Denzel Ward.
Lance to throw for it on 4th down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Ron Rivera, the gambling type, but he comes up empty here. And that will force a turnover on downs. So a tough pill to swallow there. A would-be touchdown pass in and out of his hands on 4th.
Sometimes it just comes down to execution, doesn't it? Because we're always questioning, should they go for it, should they not? Is it the right play call, is it not? In this situation, everything was right except for the finish. You have to catch the ball and convert.
Here's Nick Chubb as they try to fire up this run game. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. From his goal line here, Watson on the move to his left. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the first.
He certainly isn't looking at the scoreboard out there, because to me, all he's concerned about is analyzing the field and making most of the time left in this game. Deficit's still there, but he's starting to hit them with some big plays.
Faking the give. Now Watson. He'll buy some time right. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Well, this is getting ridiculous. 8 sacks now. That time multiple guys get to it.
Oh, you can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now. And if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a 2nd and very long. They'll go left side on the ground with Chubb. And he goes across the 20 to the 22. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's Watson. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Cameron Curl. And the Commanders are going to take possession of the football.
Partner, I think this one went awry very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
Well, here we go on the next drive for Washington. Following the interception, they're set up nicely here, already inside the red zone, knocking on the door, if you will, 1st and 10. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Lance going to throw. They'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. And they're going to get this down inside the 15. Throwing again on 2nd down. Lance, this a quick slant, and he's got Terry McLaurin. Out of the gun, they give to Robinson. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
He was brought down at the 4-yard line. A gain of 3.
Robinson again. And this time he'll run into a wall right at the 4-yard line. Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Here's Lance to throw it. Forced out to his left. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Trey Lance taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Commanders take a 3-touchdown lead. They were looking to pass the ball there, but they forgot to account for the man with the football.
Yeah, I can hear people right now saying, well, why don't you have a spy in your defense, someone who will dance with him and go where he goes? Well, oftentimes if you utilize a spy, you've taken away someone in coverage as well. And oftentimes, the spy, not as athletic as the guy he's trying to keep up with, so he gets defeated anyway.
And he turns 3rd and goal into a touchdown. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. 5 plays there on that drive. And it was Trey Lance taking it in himself to cap the drive with a touchdown run. Kick team out there for the Commanders as they send this one away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Ready to take over again on offense. Out comes Cleveland. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
From the gun, it's a give to Chubb. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They run it again with Chubb. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Inside 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. From the 40 now on 2nd down. Watson, they set up the screen to Chubb. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. And he's got some space here. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 53 yards rushing for him now on 17 carries. They went with the nickel look defensively, so they had 5 defensive backs in there. Didn't help them stop the run.
Yeah, I love that, the nickel look. 5 cents, 5 DBs. But what also happens then? You take a big body off the field in order to insert that guy. So you're taking a big off for a little. And oftentimes you can run the football effectively against that defense.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. They run again on 1st down, Chubb. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
You got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. And Chubb will try the middle here. And he loses the football a 2nd time. And it's Washington that scoops it up. Down the numbers. There he goes. And he is going to bring this one back to the house. It's a Commanders touchdown on the scoop and score. Fumbles, that's how you get in the coach's doghouse. The first one lost and it hurt. This time you lose it and it's taken in for a score. It really hurt.
And about that doghouse, it won't exactly be comfortable and it definitely won't be air conditioned.
Milk bones?
None.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. And that'll increase their lead to 28. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. The Browns set to take over. It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. The turnover on the last drive, they had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't want to admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. On first down, Watson. To the left side and complete for Amari Cooper. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48. Now a play fake, and it's Watson. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6.
Well, this has to count as a great team effort today, but this man, he's been at the center of all of it. Really special day for any defense to have this many sacks in a game, even more so for this player. One of the best individual efforts of the season.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Another try after the first down sack. Watson into a double team, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Cameron Curl. And the Commanders are going to take possession of the football.
I'm not sure, Brandon, we've seen a sloppier played game this year for a team on offense. Turn it over 4 times and expect to win? No chance whatsoever. And look, I have no idea what the ratio is about turnover 4 times and how that correlates to winning or losing, but I guarantee you, it's not very good.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Straight ahead, it's Robinson.
And he's going to be stopped here for no gain. And that's going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter of play. We have played 3 quarters. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4.
2nd down and a run by Robinson.
And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. And this offense on 3rd down today, they've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This is 3rd and 9.
So, Charles, you talk about this offense, how well they've played. I mean, the defense, too, really. But they're sitting at 10-0 now on the year. 4-0, 5-0, that's nice. But once you start hitting double digits with these wins and no losses, I think the seriousness of the situation, it just has to ramp up.
Yeah, and when you do say 10-0, it can't scare you as a team. Just think about it this way. For most of the year, they've been playing to win their division and get to the playoffs. Now the playoffs are just about a foregone conclusion. So now they have to down-focus their thoughts about getting home field advantage and finishing unbeaten, and they need to make sure they keep it in that order.
Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
And with this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a first down.
But we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants his lead to stay right where it is.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Watson. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
A loss of 3 on a sack made by multiple defenders.
You can almost see all the defenders rubbing their hands together with glee because we all know they relish a chance to bring down a quarterback of his caliber. Anyone who brings him down has plenty to talk about. Not just a sack, but a big win built on the efforts of this defense.
Going to need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Looking left side, and it's complete.
And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 19.
From the red zone now, Watson. And this is caught. And he coughed it up.
And it's Washington that scoops it up.
And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely.
The Commanders preparing for their next possession.
And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now.
Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. On 3rd down, Robinson
breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. There he goes left side. He's at the 50, 30, and he's able to get it all the way down to the 20. A big pickup there on 3rd and 10. 72 yards.
So that run there, I don't know if it's overstating things to call it a thing of beauty, but in terms of football plays, that's as good as you're going to see.
And what was impressive to me is not just how much he wanted it, but how he fashioned it. I mean, he was shedding tacklers left and right, evading tacklers left and right. And when you think about the energy it takes to ward guys off, that's really impressive. He still managed to keep his balance and turn this into a fantastic run.
Yeah, he covered a lot of ground on that one, as evidenced by the final total there on Next Gen Stats.
Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
I like how he hung in there and went through his progressions, but eventually his internal clock went off and told him it was time to make a run for it, and he ends up sliding down with a solid gain.
On first down, Lance.
Looking middle, and that's complete. And he gets halfway home from the 10 to the 5 on a pickup of 5.
A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and goal.
On 2nd and goal, Lance. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sacked back around the 8.
It's J.O.K. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah in there for the sack.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
Lance now on 3rd and goal.
Flushed out right.
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Commanders. Trey Lance
with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Commanders add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
After right down the middle. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead.
Washington kick team back out there now as they will send this one away. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. The Browns set and ready to go on offense.
And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. To throw again on second down. Watson eluding the pressure right. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first. On first down, it's Watson. And the screen unsuccessfully dropped it. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Now Watson. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. Throwing on third down, Watson. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete.
And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Watson looks to throw again.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's Watson.
And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. Chase Young in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks.
Pardon my vocabulary isn't that great, but to me, there's only one word that fits this front seven today, and that's dominant. 4 and 5 sacks is already rare in one game. Getting to more than 6 in one contest while winning by this many points, an absolutely astounding effort by every player involved.
Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long after that sack. What does Watson have in his arsenal? They'll try to draw now with Chubb. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
Desperation time. Watson on 4th down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Browns unable to move the chains on 4th down.
And Washington will take control of the football in great field position.
That's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th, and we've seen them do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Toss play to Robinson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
So on 4th down, Ron Rivera sends out the field goal unit. On the left hash, officially, it's called a 51-yard attempt. And this one is right down Broadway. And that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. And now the Browns coming out on the field. And last time, went for it on fourth, didn't get it. We'll see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game, and sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out.
Right back to Bell, and it's caught once again.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now it's Watson. This is the tight end, Njoku. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that'll bring up second down. Again, it's Watson. Buying time, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders.
We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailed by multiple touchdowns, and a late sack, just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
Following that sack, Watson and the Browns backed up for a 3rd and long.
They'll drop to throw. Escaping under pressure again, and down he goes again. Montez Sweat, 2 plays in a row now that he has gotten in there for the sack, and it brings up 4th down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10. The Washington offense set to take over again. And they just continue to roll right along, really. This has the looks of yet another victory as they hope to polish it off here in quarter number 4.
They begin the drive with Robinson.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Again, it's Robinson. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32.
From the gun on 3rd down, Lance.
They'll roll him out right. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a halt. Here's Tressway now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go to each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for Washington,
the perfect season remains intact as they move to 11-0 on the year. And they'll get another home date next week as the Saints will come to town.